guys, it's Hunter Lambert. So I'm going to answer the following questions for the article, Some Early Childhood Experiences Shape Adult Life, but which ones? To answer the first question, I do think the article provided a lot of great examples that prove the point that early childhood experiences in fact shape adult life. One being the caring home example. So if you come from a caring home, you're going to have better standardized testing results, higher grades, and then better relationships with peers. And you can kind of see that, through your own friend groups or family members who come from different backgrounds, or peers that don't come from the same socioeconomic status as you. I think a really good example that the article provided was that 10% of academic achievement was correlated to home life quality. And then, while that does seem small, when like a small percentage, when you are at that age of growing up, you're a sponge, you're kind of adapting to the world in itself. And it's crucial for the basis of your foundation that sets you up for success as an adult. And I know this isn't part of the reading, but in a previous psychology class, we spoke about Jeannie Wiley, who was referred to as the feral child. So she was born in LA area, and in the 1970s was collected by Child Protective Services due to child neglect that her parents experienced and posed onto her. So they weren't exactly sure how old she was when she was, I don't even know if collected is the right term, but when she was found in this unstable living environment for years. She wasn't talked to. She was found in a straitjacket that her dad put her in, and she was neglected and starved throughout her entire childhood, which when she was found, she wasn't able to speak, and she was very timid. However, through years of therapy with a speech therapist, she was able to develop her own language and turned out to be really imaginative through pictures. So that goes to show that 10% is really crucial in having a stable and productive childhood home environment. And then the remainder of 90% is in fact genetically attributed. And I'll make sure to link something if you guys don't know about Jeannie, just so you can get some more background information on that. But I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point in the semester. The second question, do you think it's possible that early emotional support can affect the education, social life, and romantic relationship in adulthood? And I say yes, absolutely. The book does speak about caregiver-infant communication is disrupted, and it can cause infant sadness, and which creates an impaired development throughout the aspects of life. So it makes me think of adults with depression who are there, fully developed mentally and cognitively speaking, but when they go through depression, they are forgetful, they are not lazy, but not as motivated, and due to the different disconnects with nerve cell endings in various parts of your brain. So if a child is experiencing some sort of infant sadness during that crucial time of development, I believe that the chemical imbalances that are happening that you do see in adults with depression could also happen with children, causing them to infants, but causing them to have a negative effect on the development of their neurophysiology and then cognitive development. So that's my take on that. But then you can also see that, you know, children that do come from a good home as well can succeed, and that's shown more often than the latter, or the previous example. And now on to the third question. Do you think it's possible early experiences influence anxiety disorders in adolescence? And I say yes as well. The book also in chapter 6 talks about stranger anxiety that infants often experience when they're face to face with a new face. And this concept of fear is developed during the second half of the first year. So I think if anxiety is experienced that young with such a trivial experience, if something more serious were to present itself to the infant, then they could develop an anxiety disorder. And I'll use a personal experience. When I was younger, I was surrounded by Labradors, the dogs, and I was able to pull on them, and they're fine. They're super temperate. And I met my first German Shepherd, and I pulled on its tail, and it came around and bit me in the arm, giving me stitches. And it wasn't until high school that I was able to go near a German Shepherd again. So I do think that anxiety did stick from that one instance. So, yeah, that's just my take on this module, and I'm excited to hear your responses.